Hello again, everyone. Welcome back. In this weekend market update, we're going to take a look at the Qs today, a couple of indicators, check back in on Bitcoin, which everybody's, it's been all over the news, of course, and then see how the Mag 7 look. I'm going to show a side-by-side view of the Mag 7 all in one picture, on one screen. But I'm starting off here with Nvidia. Oh, and before I go there, let me just, I want to mention one thing. Okay, I want to bring this up. At some point after you watch the video, I'd like you to go over to my website, check out my post in here, where I'm talking about listening to your little voice. And I kind of tell the story of what I did in terms of checking out my voice and how it helped me. Anyway, it helped me with a major health issue that I had no idea I had. So anyway, check that out when you get a chance. Okay, so let's start off here with Nvidia. So this was kind of the big trigger on Thursday, I think. I mean, look how Wednesday night they had earnings come out, and everybody was just extremely bullish. I mean, they blew away their earnings. They upped their projections out for the coming year, I believe. And the next morning, here Thursday morning, it gapped way up. And it opened at 181.24, the high 184.56. So another $3. And then that was all she wrote. And they just sold it off and sold it off and sold it off. Very, very huge reversal candle to the downside. This almost looks like we're getting a breakdown out of a topping pattern here. We'll see what kind of follow through we get as we come down. I mean, anyway, that's all I'm going to spend on Nvidia. Let's go back to the Qs and take a look at what the Qs look like. So Nvidia is doing that. Here's what the Qs did. Huge bearish engulfing day on Thursday with the big gap up, couldn't really go anywhere and just sold off. Now, this was really, in my opinion, the second major bull trap that occurred in the last 2 weeks. The first one was right over in here, and it was the morning of the 10th, which the 10th was a Monday. We gapped up in here. We went sideways for 3 days and then just sold off hard. And this is literally like a little island in terms of what happened. When you go to the 195-minute time frame, which is 2 bars to the day, you can see the island starting to form. If you go to the 65-minute view, you can see the island just sideways in here for 3 days. And it's even more dramatic on the 130-minute or on the 30-minute time frame, every half hour. Well, and then so there's the first one, okay? And then we got the second one, which was even more vicious. I got to say, I know, the movie based on the play called Wicked is out, and they got Wicked for Good or something that's coming out or just came out, I guess, this weekend. And this reversal just made me think of the word wicked because it was really nasty on Thursday. And it hit a lot of stocks. Now, the interesting thing when you take a look here at the Qs, let's see what's happening with this. Do you see how far down they went? They went below the October 10th low on Thursday at the close. Got a little bit of continuation Friday morning, not much, but we kind of gapped up. We were severely oversold on the market on Thursday at the end of the day. So not surprising at all that we got a bounce on Friday, although it wasn't much of one, honestly. But when you look at where are we sitting, let's take a look at how that compares to the equal weight Qs. Okay, they're all the way down here at the August lows, August into the 1st of September lows on the close. We're not even close to that on the Qs. Okay, we're still back up here. We have to be down in this territory to even come close to matching. If the equal weight are kind of leading us, let's say, well, we were in sync with them here into the high in October 29th Take a look at the equal weight right here. See how they broke out with, and you thought, oh, wow, everything's in sync. Then all of a sudden, everything started to collapse. So this is going to be really, really interesting to see where we go. Now, the Elliott wave picture I've got on this, I really think that we're into a fourth intermediate wave. Okay. Now, the implications of this is that it's going to be a lot of big movement. You know, there's a lot of room in here. Let me go to the weekly view so you can see a little bit more of what I'm talking about. So I'm talking about the third wave coming off of the COVID crash low. Okay, 1, 2, in 2022, the big zigzag corrective pattern that occurred. And now we've had a big bull move ever since October of 22. And I think right now we've finished 5 minor waves, and that we are now about to begin what most likely will be a sideways fourth wave. Now, what am I doing with these dashed lines? Well, this is the fourth wave of one lower degree within the third intermediate wave, right? This is the fourth wave of minor degree. So my target is that we pull back down into that zone. We don't have to go to the low of it, although it can, but I wouldn't be surprised if we just kind of like go into the middle of it, because we typically, if we have a sharp zigzag for wave 2, we should get some kind of sideways messy wave 4. So you never know what you're going to get for wave 4. But if we do a little, let's just do a ratio of 4 versus 3. And my target in here would be about 38% for a target. That puts us at about 490, 491 on the Qs. You know, we're sitting 100 points above that level. So we'll see, you know, one day, 1 week, one wave at a time, okay? And right now we're just working our way down at this point. So when I look at this and I look at the daily, I think, well, I'm looking for 5 waves initially just to see if we can get that kind of impulsive wave structure for one. All that means is that's the first wave, okay? But it may turn out to be that this is just a bigger zigzag or something. But right now it's still looking and acting like, you know, a 5-wave move. This looks and acts like it's a third wave in here. So we'll see how this continues to unfold. Okay, so that is the Qs. All right, well, let me go back to the daily, sorry. Let me do this. Do this real quick. There we go. Yeah, and on a weekly chart too, I was just going to point out, I mean, this closed below the 10-week moving average for the first time since back over here in April, right? This is the first decent corrective activity we've had. We've had some minor stuff along the way, but this is the first fairly serious corrective move that we're getting. Okay, let's take a look at a couple of indicators and let's keep moving here. Okay, so the VIX down 299 on Friday, kind of an inside down type day. We closed at 2343. You know, on a weekly basis, this is the highest weekly close on the VIX since right here, the week of April 20th. So still pretty substantial, you know, volatility being indicated, still elevated. The other thing I was going to mention is when you look at this and you say, well, you know, if we're into a fourth intermediate wave, I wouldn't be surprised. I said messy, sideways, we get a bunch of big swings. Well, let's just look at what happened just if we go back to like 22. What happened in the beginning from the end of 21? So here we are, December of 21 into January of 22. Look at the swings that was occurring in the VIX throughout all of 22. I would not be surprised at all to see similar kind of activity that occurs over the next 6 to 8, 10 months. I mean, you know, we're into another intermediate wave, and it's going to be highly volatile, I think. Okay, enough on that one. McClellan oscillator, what's it showing us? Let me go back. me go back up here because it's right here. And let me do this. Not that. Okay, here's what I wanted to show you. We had been on Thursday at the end of the day down here, and we were like minus 183 or something. Let me see if it'll give it to me. It's very touchy. 185, minus 185. And that was the second lowest reading since April. Okay, I have to zoom up so you can see the dates a little bit better. So this was back in April 8th. Okay. We're now at a minus 71. So we're still a little bit oversold, but just ever so slightly oversold. I almost hate to even say it's oversold, really. But this is what continues to show that it's heading south. This is the summation index. We're sitting at a plus 288, and it's getting very close to going below the zero line. I mean, this is the summation of the oscillator, and it really is painting kind of a negative picture right now. Okay, now talk about a negative picture. You know, Bitcoin, here's the Bitcoin futures. I've been talking about this for a long time now. I had the post or the weekend video out talking about, you know, Bitcoin's message. Is it sending us a signal? Well, yeah, it is. I mean, it's pretty much telling us, you know, risk off, and it's kind of a signal for what's been going on with the market. Now, it's getting pretty oversold. We'll see how much longer it's going to do this before it gets a bounce. I actually thought once it broke below this support level, it might bounce back up into it, but it didn't. You know, and it's been down for what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of 7 weeks. Is that right? Yes. 6 out of 7 weeks it's been down. So yeah, it's getting pretty extended. And I am sure, I mean, I keep hearing that Michael Saylor's still buying. And I don't know. And we'll see how it works out. If you come down here and take a look at MicroStrategy, or strategy, I guess he calls it now. I mean, it's a pretty negative picture. It's really been selling off quite a bit. I mean, just back in July, we're like in the 450, 460, 459, 460. We're sitting at 172.8. I think they own over like 600,000 or 630,000 Bitcoin or some phenomenal number. Same thing's going on with Bitmine Immersion Technologies, and that's Tom Lee's company that he's involved with. They announced right back over here in June that they were going to be buying up all kinds of Ethereum, and you know, it went crazy, pulled back, been sideways and rolling over and heading south. Of course, that's what Ethereum's been doing. So again, we'll see how this works. Short term, you know, it's not working out very well. Maybe it works out over the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years. We'll see. But right now, they're getting hurt big time. I mean, to step in and buy this, you better have a long-term perspective, I think. These are what they call crypto treasury companies, I think. Strategy and Bitmine, etc. Last thing I want to look at here is the Magnificent Seven. Just take I put all 7 of them on the same sheet. A couple of things I want to point out. Only Apple and Google, Alphabet, are above their 55-day moving average right now. And I'm watching both of them closely because they're starting to show some signs that they could be getting ready to get a little weaker. Meta is the only one that's below its 233-day moving average. I use 233 instead of 200, and I use 55 instead of 50. So it's the only one below the 233, but we've got Amazon and Microsoft. Amazon's sitting right there. It went below it a little bit back here in October. But it's just sitting right there, bounced off of it, you know, this week. And Microsoft's coming right down to it almost. So, yeah, we'll be keeping an eye on that and see how these are playing out. I mean, you've got, you know, Tesla's kind of rolling over. Of course, it's below the 55. Nvidia is sitting below its 55 now. So It's going to be an interesting picture here, at least into the end of the year, and then we'll see where we go from there. Okay, that's it for this weekend. If you felt like the video was helpful, give it a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber to the channel, hit that little subscriber button. And if you'd like more of this information on a regular basis, head on over to joehenches.net. And let me just show you that picture again. I can do that right here. And check out the website. I can, joehenches.net. You see it at the top right here. Check out the post that I put out. I just published it yesterday. Okay, everyone, have a great week. And we got Thanksgiving coming up. So if I don't talk to you before Thanksgiving, have a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday. Talk to you on the next video.